Hello students, as in my previous classes, I gave you a general introduction on the chapter Indian economy on the eve of independence. There we discussed that what challenges were to be faced by a newly independent country. Now in this lecture, we are going to discuss about the features of the agricultural sector on the eve of independence. First of all, let us discuss what were the features. It was a stagnant economy. That means there was very little growth in in the income of that economy. GDP was even less than 2%. And it was a backward economy in the sense that per capita income was very low. There was 0.5% growth in the per capita income. What is this per capita income? The total population of the country is divided by the total income of that country in order to get the per capita income. So the per capita income was showing only 0.5% growth. Then there was agricultural backwardness, and in that also near about 72% population was engaged in the agricultural activities. Second, now let's discuss about the features of the agricultural sector. The production and productivity, they both were low. Here, by production we mean that what can be produced, and by production we mean that what is produced, and productivity means that how much it can be produced, and they both were very low. And if we consider the data of that time, what we see that if we see the data of the time, what we see that if we consider the production of wheat in 1947, what we see that it was 660 in comparison to 3,216 in 2016-17. And the productivity was also low. That means it was 6 lakh ton in 1947 in comparison to 984 lakh ton in 2016-17. Then there was high degree of uncertainty. A high degree of uncertainty we mean that the farmer was not certain that how much he is going to produce. उसका production होने वाला भी है या नहीं, उसकी फसल होगी भी या नहीं, या सूख जाएगी. That means he was totally dependent upon rain or nature. Then there was dominance of subsistence farming. Dominance of subsistence farming means that only those crops were grown which were necessary or essential for the needs of the family. Then there was a gulf between the owners of the land and tillers of the land. इनके बीच का जो अंतर था वो एक गल्फ की तरह था, बहुत ज़्यादा अंतर था. यानी कि एक जो बंदा है उसको खाने का ही पूरा, तो उसको 2 squares मील नहीं मिल रहे हैं, और अगले के पास बहुत ज़्यादा है. Then there was problem of small and fragmented land holdings. When we talk about small and fragmented land holdings, we say that कि मान लिया कि कोई एक किसान है, उसका जो लैंड का टुकड़ा है थोड़ा इस गांव में हो गया, अगला दूसरे गांव में हो गया, या आसपास खेत ना होके दूर दूर पे होते, तो इससे उसकी एफिशिएंसी में कमी आती थी. Later on what we will find that the Land Ceiling Act was brought in order to bring this fragmented land holding together. Then the other problem was the land revenue system. Land revenue system, when we talk about the land revenue system, we talk about the permanent settlement or the jamindari system. These jamindars, they were considered as the owners of the land, and they were supposed to collect the taxes from the peasants. Law known as Sunset Law was set up at the time that they have to pay the taxes to the British government before the sunset of a particular day. And the whole taxes that a jamindar collected were divided into 11 parts. That means 10 parts were given to the British government and 1 part the jamindar used to keep with himself. But what happened? That instead of investing those earnings on good things, that means on land or increasing the production, what this jamindar he used to do, he spent all that on luxuries. Second thing, that since the law was of sunset before on a particular date, he had to pay the taxes to the British government before the sunset, or else his jamindari will be taken away from him. So what he used to do, he used to exploit the peasants. Means कि जबरदस्ती उनसे वसूली की जाती थी कि हमें तो भैया देना है, आप इस डेट तक मुझे जमा करना है, किसी हुक बाय हुक और बाय क्रुक आपका प्रोडक्शन हो ना हो, आप मुझे पैसे दो. Then there was forced commercialization of agriculture. When we talk about forced commercialization of agriculture, why was this done? Because due to the industrial revolution of Europe, England was England wanted raw materials for its industries in Great Britain, and for that they forced Indian farmers to cultivate the commercial crops such as indigo, opium was also means they were forced to do. अब इन क्रॉप्स के साथ क्या होता था कि ज़्यादा फर्टाइल लैंड की ज़रूरत होती थी और वाटर की ज़्यादा ज़रूरत होती थी। तो अब एक बेचारा किसान अगर खाने की चीज़ें, खाने पीने की चीज़ें नहीं उगाएगा तो वो खाएगा क्या? तो उसके लिए अब इन सीड्स के लिए उसको ज़्यादा पैसों की भी ज़रूरत होती थी। तो उसको क्या कहा गया कि आप में से एडवांस ले लो और आप बाद में आपका जो प्रोडक्शन हो जाएगा तो पे करना। अब एक बेचारा किसान जब वो उनसे एडवांस पेमेंट ले लिया है तो ऑब्वियसली ही इज गोइंग टू बी इन द वेव ऑफ इंटरेस्ट, वो इंटरेस्ट के वेव में फंस जाता था। So this was all about the feature of the Indian agricultural sector on the eve of Indian independence in Indian economy. In the next class, I'll be discussing about the industrial sector.